Supernatural Season 10 premiere, Black. I've definitely been excited for this season since season nine's finale. It was probably the greatest finale they've ever had for the series, and I was waiting for season 10. And this is a really interesting start. It's still sort of the split storyline like last season, where it's like the demon side of the story, and then with Cass and stuff, it's still the angel side because things aren't just poof, everything's fixed. There are still things happening, and one of the cool things about it is that angels are kind of becoming a lot more human. How Cass has done really multiple times when you think about it. Other angels are choosing to stay on Earth and stay within the human bodies that they have because they have options and they have freedoms that they never had before. And other angels, like we had the two angels, I'm sure there are many more, but we only had two who didn't want to return in this episode. And it was weird, like the woman that Cass was working with, like Hannah, she kind of almost declared like every angel has to go back to heaven. Like I know she says there are rules and stuff, but it seems like they're kind of just forcing other people in, and she kind of went nuts and was about to attack the woman. I won't say she went nuts, but they were both already on edge. The woman came back, she was on edge, Hannah was on edge, and they just started fighting. And then Cass had to kill the guy Daniel. And now that the woman's gone off, we don't know if she'll come. I know she's gonna come back. I don't know if she'll come back with reinforcements or anything, but it was really interesting to see that side of the story and how even with things fixed and Metatron imprisoned, the angels are still kind of figuring out what they really want because now they have options. They could stay on Earth if they want to, or they could go out to heaven. But it's really cool. It's really interesting, the stuff with Cass. He's once again kind of just in a crazy state. He's gone, like, he's been human, he's been like pseudo human. I guess he's pseudo human right now. He's like, the grace is basically gone. He has these human traits which he talked about with Hannah when they were driving, and he doesn't really have all the power he had before. When he gets cut, he still kind of glows like an angel. So he's still an angel. He's just much weaker, and there's no way to get his grace back. He can only steal it from another angel. And so I don't know what's going to happen with that, how they could possibly fix it, but it'll be interesting to see. And then of course we have the big thing for the season and what everyone's been waiting to see. It's Demon Dean. And something with that we got a little bit of info on was Crowley mentioned how if the mark isn't satiated, then Dean becomes an actual demon. So I think at this point he's not officially a demon. He's not like completely a demon. He's sort of half and half. Like his soul is messed up because he's like almost half human, half demon at this point. But I guess it's like if he doesn't kill a certain amount of demons, then he'll just kind of go nuts and be like full crazy demon, almost like a ghost that lingered on too long. It just kind of snaps and certain emotions take over. But that was really cool. Him and Crowley like hanging out all the time. Although Dean was in the car by himself at the end of the episode, so he's taken off from Crowley, and Crowley kind of got tired of them just hanging out and Dean just singing songs and getting drunk all the time. And he wants to make things right. He wants to make the perfect hell. So I'm curious to see how he makes that work and if it even does work, because I'm sure Dean's just kind of gonna do what he wants to do because he already said pass in this episode. So he's off on his own doing his own thing. But I can't wait to see what happens. I think it's episode 3. Sam and Dean do end up both back at the bunker. So I'm excited for that episode. And Dean's kind of hit the point where he's fine with what he is. He told Sam to let him go, and he's just disappeared with Crowley. But Crowley's trying to get back into his own thing, so he's gonna he probably doesn't even care that Dean's gone. He's like, probably like, I was tired of it anyway, so I'm out of here. So he's gonna be doing his own thing again, dealing with some of the Abaddon people, which initially I thought that's why he sent the demon to where Dean was, because it's like, well, I know you guys still care about Abaddon, so here's the guy that killed her, but he knows Dean's just gonna, block and stab everybody, so he's like, well, clears out the little nuisances that are gonna be here and there. So I thought that's why he did it, but he was actually doing it just to keep Dean from just completely losing it. But it was a great episode. I love all the little references they put in. Like they wrote the episode around Jared Padalecki because he broke his arm in real life. So I love how they actually put that in the dialogue a lot. Like when he got knocked out by the guy who, of course, is one of the big things about this episode. Like, who is this guy? He's from the army. That's all we really got. Dean did something. I think the one idea that I have is that Dean had to have killed one of his family members, and that family member, of course, unknown to this guy, was possessed by a demon, and Dean killed the guy. And so, Dean's just off, and this guy's hunting after him. But he said they went way back, so I feel like it has to be much more than that. It's been 6 weeks, so I doubt he would have said, "Yeah, we go way back," if it was just something simple like that. So at the same time, I could easily not be the case where Dean killed one of his family members or something, because like I said, he said way back, so I don't know who this guy is or what. And Dean, of course, didn't say anything. He was just like, he almost seemed like he didn't even know the guy. So it's hard to figure out, like, anything could happen in 6 weeks. But the guy was given super vague information anyway. Like, Sam asked if he was a hunter. He's like, sure. And he's like, Dean was a monster, but now I'm the monster and he's the prey. So honestly, with his dialogue having been so incredibly vague, when you kind of think about it, who knows what the story behind this guy is, but he's definitely got the skills. He somehow got to Sam's car without Sam even knowing, and he put a kill switch on it. He knows who Sam really is, which is a pretty big deal considering how many fake IDs they've used throughout this series. So he knows who Sam and Dean really are. He has the skills to capture Sam. Of course, Sam can't really fight back because his arm is broken and stuff like that. So I'm excited to see who this guy is, because right now, to be completely honest, he's like the only villain. It's like him and possibly the angel woman that ran off. Like, those are like the two villains we have right now. Everyone else is just kind of nothing. So it's a really interesting start for the season. I would definitely want to know who this guy is. I want to know what the overarching story is going to be. I feel like part of the overarching story is definitely going to be who this guy is and why he's after Dean, and of course, what's going to happen with Dean. Is he going to stay a demon, or are they gonna find some crazy cure? And I've actually been watching through season 9 again because my girlfriend's trying to catch up on it. So there were a lot of random things that I actually noticed in this episode that were different from season 9. And one thing is just like the actual actors just physically look different. Like, you guys probably noticed, like, Sam looks skinnier. The guy who plays Crowley's skinnier. Dean actually looks fairly the same. Like, he has different type of hair, I guess, like slightly more hair, and he's like combed back or whatever, but they look different. One thing that caught my attention and I thought was really funny, this cast still has the car, and I like just seen the episode where they introduced that car and Carl was like, "What are you, a pimp?" And I thought, like, it was funny to see that car. And some other things that I've been thinking about, because we've been watching the old season, is this stuff with Kane. Like, is he gonna come back in this season? Because he mentioned how he was gonna call Dean back at some point and actually have him have Dean kill him for what he did to all those demons in the episode, because he had given up fighting, but he like took out all those demons. And thinking about that was led to another question, like, can Dean really even die? Because when they ran into Kane, Dean like put a knife to his chest and he just pulled it forward and pulled it right back out and nothing happened. Like, he didn't even bleed. It was just like he stabbed himself and he was like, yeah, like, no big deal. So I'm wondering if Dean can even actually die, because he got taken out by Metatron. He was stabbed, of course. That was before he sort of became a demon. So that started the change. But at this point, can he really get killed, or is he strong enough? Could he possibly get strong enough, or, to basically become immortal like Kane? Because I would love to see that, although that would kind of mess with the ending if he just instantly became immortal and then, Sam just dies. But a lot of questions I have, of course. I can't wait to see what they do with this season with Dean and the guy coming after him. And I'm also pretty curious. I'm not as excited for the Angel stuff, but I'm definitely curious about it. It seems like it's going to be the more philosophical side of the series for this season. And it kind of was last season, but not really. It was more like just armies of heaven and stuff for that. But this season, things are sort of fixed, and they're kind of recruiting people and trying to get everyone back to heaven. But who knows what might go wrong with them again. So I'm excited to see where the Angel storyline goes. And Hannah in this episode almost seemed like she was kind of heading down that road. Like, when she ended up fighting the woman, the woman could have put her blade away and she could have done the same, but neither of them were in that state of mind. They both kind of just went after each other because they're kind of set in their rules. Like, Cass and the guy Daniel were sort of in the middle, and then they were both on the outside. Like, she says, like, there are rules, everyone needs to go back to heaven, and the other one was like, screw the rules. We were cast out of heaven, so the rules clearly didn't matter enough for things to stay perfect for. So why not stay here? So I'm excited to see what they do with that storyline. But it was a great season premiere. I'm really excited. I think the thing I'm most curious about is definitely who that guy is and what he really wants with Dean and how far back do they really go. But it was a great first start. Got some questions. I know we're gonna get some answers, but I'm definitely excited to see where this one goes. Of course, comment below. Let me know what you guys thought about this premiere. Your favorite parts, your least favorite parts, and of course, with this being season 10, and more importantly, with this being a season where one of the brothers is actually a demon, what do you guys want to see? Like, what crazy things do you want the brothers to actually go through? Comment below, let me know, and thanks for watching.